Welcome back to the Spit Out. I'm Jefferson. Alongside me, as always, the one with all the holes in this game, Swiss Cheese, and this is Disc Golf World's podcast. We're going to be talking about the second or third major of the year, the European Disc Golf Festival.
Memorable major.
Unforgettable, I would say.
Memorable major. Let's start it off.
I think let's just go straight to where we were referencing.
Debate night, Brody put a little bit of his foot in his mouth and had a cut. I get where what he was meaning and intending, but the power of editing can make that seem a little different. But yeah, I think he also walked it back a little bit, but that's just me.
Well, let's say it out loud. He was talking about that this event was going to be forgotten.
Yeah, because it was a back-to-back major is what he said he was implying. He never said anything like that. He just said, like, I'm not going to talk about these comments because it's going to be forgotten like this major. And then you have two first-time winners, one who's one of the most popular players in the game, get his first, and it will never be forgotten.
Yeah, no way. The talk for how long was Calvin has won the most amount of events, but never a major. He's been so close and choked it so many times. And then to come out and play a solid final round from start to end was amazing. But before we can go into all of that talk, yes, we have to talk about was the course itself major worthy? Because that's all I could see online. And a lot of the complaints are there's too high of score. This makes disc golf look ridiculous. I don't know if I agree with that at all, honestly.
The course is what it can be at this moment. I think it's going to grow. I think it's going to get better. I think it's going to improve. And I think it's what, third event?
Second. Yeah, I think it's silly to think that this isn't going to improve every single year. They're going to try to make it harder, and they're going to come up with
second
ideas.
time being on the tour, but third time. So yeah, and it's like I think there's a lot of stuff that's on here that like people don't understand. I think the course is very nuanced and very tricky. I think pros have made that abundantly clear out there that like everyone says, yeah, you can birdie this many, but you can also bogey and fall into trouble. And there's plenty of examples of that. And to not acknowledge that just because you're uncomfortable with the score of the top, 2% of the professional field, and you're going to try to equate that to the whole entire event, I think is false. And I think it's wrong. And I'm not going to debate that I think the broadcast can be done better. Like, I think that's an easy thing where we can all agree on that this could have been promoted better. This could have been established better, made things better as far as like on the DGBT side. As far as the event itself, no, they overperformed in every way, shape, and form yet again.
It wasn't like every single one was killing it, like I feel was mentioned by a lot of people. No one in the field shot double digits all rounds.
I guarantee you 90% of the keyboard guys are not acknowledged or have no clue of that.
And even saying that when we're looking at the top four finishers, 3 of them had 1,100 rated. Oh, did Paul have it? Yeah, Paul had 1,100. 3 of them had 1,100 rated round, and Gannon had back-to-back 1093s. These is not normal disc golf.
Yeah,
this is they're playing unbelievably well. And if you want to say that it's because of the course, you can. But again, look at all the other scores. And who said that disc birding their eye is boring? Personally, I'm a fan. I'm a memorial lover. I got myself admittedly. Sure. However, I think that it's okay to have courses where the trouble is, yes, you have to birdie damn near everything because it's so important when you miss. That is and I know that there's the argument to that is we're watching players make mistakes instead of players make great moves to score. I understand that, but I do like the idea of disc golf can be a game of perfection.
Sure. Can we be honest? Like, if we're really trying to attract fans, I don't necessarily know if that's readable to a new person watching the sport. What is more readable is that person made a mistake. Then, that was the perfect angle at the release height. Even with the right announcers, it's too difficult for people to kind of process that until you're actually on the course and you throw it and you see it in person. Like we say all the time, like, the course is the course is rarely ever not more difficult than how it looks on camera. All the time. We also talk about the shots are always more incredible than what coverage happens. And so like to be able to like process that is like, yeah, birdies or dies, it can be relatable. We can be different from golf. We don't need to have those same scores. It is easier. Everyone's willing to acknowledge that. So let's go lean into it.
I feel like it's more relatable to the fans too. This is more something you're going to see at some destination in your area. This is an attainable course where when we go to like the pristine, yes, I do think there's a spot on the tour to go to the #1 and like the hardest course of the world because they're the professionals, but also to showcase like, hey, this is what disc golf is.
Absolutely. And man, can we also like not acknowledge like part of the course is also what's around there. You had sponsors, Nike, everything was plastered. Everything appeared and behaved like a major. Now, was it done last year? Sure. They're just really great at it. All right. It doesn't make it any more or less like a major because they've repeated it. It is still separate from any other stop. And that's even USDGC. Because USDGC does have that. But as far as on the course, there's not much of it. There's not many of that visuals. And if there is, it's Innova. You know what I mean? Like, so to have that much outside sponsorship delivering on what everybody wants in our game, delivering on that year after year thus far, getting the support, being able to turn around on the sod and have that not be an issue whatsoever. Yeah. Like all those efforts says this is major worthy. And because you're viewing it on the television isn't to your standards or where you feel comfortable, doesn't make it any less of a major. It's still a major. And every other shape and form and visual, to not acknowledge that is a disservice to what they've done over there.
You ready for the take I said in today's video?
Sure.
Because I feel like the narrative was set a little bit before the event, maybe during it with daily recaps, but a lot of it was Brody and his opinion. And I will say he's entitled to his opinion on what disc golf is. But again, he's spewing it to his fans, and a lot of them will just like to agree because they like Brody. I said my tinfoil hat, my conspiracy theory in me that I thought maybe that Brody feels this way because when he analyzes the leaderboard, all he goes to is 49, 48 under, 46, 40. This is incredible. This is too, we can't be doing this when instead of when I'm looking at the leaderboard, I have a little bit more emotion attached to it where then I saw that lead card as I've been watching the 14-year-old grind in his basement on Instagram Live. I've been seeing the kid who was a nobody, and now he's going to almost pass Nate Doss and Will Schuster to the all-time major list. I'm watching Paul McBeth, the one who got me into the sport, make a comeback and make, like, in 2016, when he had, like, a 5 strokes to lead, you thought Paul McBeth was going to win the event. I had the nostalgia pulling me in the event. Calvin Heimberg, you've told me, like, 2018, this is going to be the guy next up, and I've had to watch year after year fall short. I have to, all these storylines coming together. I don't give a fuck if they're about to shoot perfect. If anything, how incredible would that be if Paul McBeth all of a sudden shoot a perfect round to win the major?
We're going to really say it's too easy, guys. Yeah, like, oh my gosh. No, it's going to be like, what an epic performance. Yeah.
That putt on 18 from Calvin Heimberg is going to be replayed for how long?
That's going to be a commercial.
And not only that, the distance, looking at the arena or the stage itself. Because part of me did think, you know what? This is getting hyped up, and it is gimmicky. We saw the Kevin Jones meltdown with Dumpster Fire talking about how it's so great in the view, and I was like, hey, it is just like a classic Heiser, who cares? But looking back at that moment in history, and that's going to be replayed in highlights forever, and people without context, whatever, are going to look at that and be like, holy shit, like disc golf has that for them? Even if it's this one random event, it makes it look legit. Part of me believed in that. I don't know if you guys have seen if you watch our video, you should definitely go check that. But one of the main organizers, Silver, put out a statement saying that he doesn't agree with that the course is too easy, but they're trying to provide a good experience for the spectators because that's what makes it a real sport. Because if we go in the middle of the woods, if we go to Eagles Crossing and we call something the Masters and no one's there, people are going to believe that because no one's there. The course might be the greatest of all time. But when you see 4,500 people packed in a stadium, an arena for disc golf, that makes you know that something's like legit.
It's interesting to see, and everyone's viewership. I told Jay this earlier. It's funny to me when you think about that. If those in attendance outnumber or are the same as the ones watching it live, the spectator has more of an opinion. They are more important at that point, and their perspective and their views is what's more important. If a performance or a location can bring that, I'm sorry, your view at home is a little less important.
The DGPT should be feeling that way too, because I got to imagine their dollar is more important, or there's bigger at that moment. Buying the spectating pass and then all the extra stuff you might is better than the. I think they had ran whatever special it was. It was like 73 cents.
And man, can we be? Let's also be real here. How long have we been? How long has our channel been around? What, 3 years?
2023.
Okay, so let's go 2 years. 2 years ago, could you have dreamt what this event put on?
No.
It was just so unfathomable. Like, it was just nuts. Like, this was not pictured. Nobody could dream of this scenario.
Mm-hmm.
And like when you have pros like Sexton in the broadcast talking about this, like, this is incredible. And it's like, yeah, it's hyzers, just hyzers. Like, are you, like, you know what I mean? Like, we gotta, like, man, I'm all for being critical, but at times, like, what this was is incredible. I'm excited to see what they can do. I think like the location of this is like almost like on the White House lawn. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is like,
I think that's fair to acknowledge too, because I don't think it at least was pushed in enough stuff that I was been seeing. I think Joey Tamale, Eagle McMahon, they did a great job in the Crush Pepper podcast to explain that this is literally on, or like the World Championship is supposed to be played on the presidential gardens or whatever. Like, this is playing on huge famous areas in this country where, you know, when we play, like I said, in the middle of the woods, it's such a difference.
I mean, I think the problem is, even if they took the time to explain that on the broadcast, there's too many people that are just watching highlights and post.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's too much of that fan base that's kind of lent that way, to where I don't know if that would have an impact like we think.
To be fair, we don't watch posts. So
yeah,
they could be talking about it, but who knows?
But like,
if someone who's only watching live, they also don't know if they're
precisely.
getting that
but like, it's kind of, man, like, this stuff is just, yeah, it should be interesting to see what kind of comes of this. Like, they got a Worlds in 2 years. They got all the more power to develop. The other interesting thing is, like, I've heard you had the PDGA flying somewhere in the middle of a finale. You'd think that'd be kind of interesting. I've heard there was talks about a rally that they went to, a rally car event. They were there.
Wait, what?
You didn't see the helicopter?
No, I heard there's the reference, but
there's like, I think it was in the FPO. There's literally like PDGA officials that got dropped off in a helicopter on the course.
Interesting.
Dead ass. Like, it was like the whole Ricky fucking commercial all over again, or the announcement. Like, it was,
they were filming something.
They filmed them coming down.
Oh.
Like, they went somewhere, and there was a rally car event on the final day, and that's why they thought the crowds were light, which they were still impressive.
Yeah.
But like, there was also, they went somewhere, so it'd be interesting, because you got to also, Worlds needs a second course, so they might have been prospecting that and kind of looking over that. So it was kind of interesting. I thought it was an interesting takeaway. It was just kind of one of those that I think fell a little under the radar because it was FPO and the time frames and stuff like that. But it was weird. I magically woke up. That was the other funny story. I'd love to say that I stayed up and watched this, but I woke up somehow at like 5 a.m., checked the scores, and it was tied. And I turned it on right at 17.
Oh man,
dead ass, dude, dead ass.
So
that is like, I saw it live.
What was the emotions? What were you going through,
dude? I was just shocked and awe. I was half awake, and it was still just like, what just happened?
Like,
I couldn't imagine watching the whole round or even being there live. Like, I know Josh had alluded to it. I think he made it like somber. I couldn't imagine just witnessing it in person and just like having the crowd rally behind her and just like the air being let out of that. Would just been nuts. And it also kind of sucked for Silva at the end, like, because it was like that classic, like, when AB missed and Gannon won, where it was just like everyone was just shell shocked. They didn't know what to do.
Didn't even win. That's the best part. You don't even know who won, bro.
Huh?
Coriolis. Oh wait, what are you talking
No,
about? You're talking about the.
Yeah, I was talking.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I was thinking back at the European
No.
major. No,
You're
I
right.
get you. Yeah, you're talking about Northwest.
Yeah. On that, like, it was like that same impact where everyone's just like, what happened? Like, what? And like, yeah. But like,
you can always remember that there'll always be debated. Did you win that major? Or it was kind of like, right?
Man, 600.
No, but it's like, bro.
Yeah, 600 on the back nine is.
It was impressive. It was impressive. Like, that's, no one's doubting that.
Yeah, those putts are brutal.
Henna level, Evelina level.
Dude, those, yeah.
Sums up. But I don't want to talk about that because we talk about that every goddamn week on this thing, and I
something.
just don't feel like doing that.
Yeah.
If you guys want to check out all of that conversation about the score and stuff, definitely go check out yesterday's video because that's not what we're here for. Today we're talking about like all the access stuff that needs explanation. That's what's here for the spit out. Make sure you subscribe if you're here. And go to the Spotify, rate us, follow over there. Trying to get the numbers up over there. I never say that we're over there, so we gotta do that.
I just can't wait to like actually attend this event one of these times, and it's gonna happen. Worlds. Yeah, that's a good point. We're on that streak. It's gonna happen. But yeah, Estonia, make it happen. But anyways, I can't wait to like actually be there and to be able to see this course in person and like to see the behind professionalism of like the player area. Like I can't wait to just geek out on stuff.
There
like
was
that.
a little shit talking about that actually. About how players are not allowed in the VIP section because maybe last year they're taking advantage, taking some extra snacks and waters for the caddies or girlfriends, which is not allowed, which is a common theme. Last time we were at Worlds, that was a complaint. Too many people eating the
brats. Yeah, too many brats was the when we heard the player too many brats talk. Some of those, you get a free meal where you can get a free meal. You know what I mean? When you're on the road.
Yeah, I just was listening to Fish's podcast the other day where he was talking about how he brings an extra container to the PDGA or the beginning more meetings and takes some home with them because like this is a meal, dude. Like take advantage.
Yeah,
like, some of these people, like if they didn't miss cash for a couple weeks, man, like they're probably hungry.
Yeah. And there was a couple of surprising missed cash at this major, whereas like that one kind of hurt a little bit. I'm sure. You know what I mean?
Cost line money to go to Europe. Like, can't forget about that. Just so we can have it clearly on the record, is it going to be a forgotten major?
No, absolutely fucking not.
Okay.
Absolutely. Like you said, that putt is going to live in infamy. That's going to be a commercial for years to come.
Now, the problem comes for the people that weren't able to watch it live or decide that they don't want to watch live because there's the anti guys, and I understand that. But there is a delay for the post coverage. So I'm sure that there's plenty of fans that have no idea what's happened. And they're going to wait because there are stubborn people that'll stay off social media or you'll see them in your comment section for spoilers.
Those people, like, tip of the cap. I know you're not watching now, but maybe in 2 weeks from now, maybe, I guess.
How do you feel about it? How do you feel about the delay?
If you want to talk about something that's going to be forgettable, that's what happens when you don't put your content out. It's going to be forgotten. We've seen it at other events. We've seen it on other tours.
We've seen it this year.
Yeah.
The Majestic got less than 10,000 views because it was delayed maybe a week.
Yep.
Because people knew the winner. And I know that it's on the Go Throw channel. It's it's not a pro tour event, but still the Majestic is a big time A tier, has been. It's a known event. And as soon as people know the winners and that's spoiled for them, the interest dies.
dgpt does a great job with their highlights. And I think a lot of people are...
You know what I'll give them credit for?
What?
Clipping the Isaac 1100, clipping the Paul round, getting those out. Because if there is people waiting and they have no coverage and they're not watching live, at least they can watch a full 18 of a player doing something great. I think they should do that more often. I would feel so much better about the paywall and even putting Jomez behind it one day as long as you're still giving a free substitute for some sort of format. And I think it's so much better of an idea to just do one player 18 holes. It's quicker, it's faster. Do separate commentary, keep the other commentary. I like it so much better than just random compilations of things. I think if you like, we just talked to Jay Milley, so storylines are on my head.
Yeah.
Is if you create the storyline, don't just like you create an actual video of the clips that are there, do something like we do of the rounds that will engage with so much more people and new people that are just randomly tuning in if that's what happens, because hopefully you're providing better content that goes in the algorithm and gets pushed into people's feeds. You can create some sort of context so they know what the hell is going on.
Yeah. And you're building also like a fan base.
That
like,
too.
You're building a rooting interest in players, your players, and now where can they watch them? Oh, I guess I can go watch them live. It makes sense. I will say like the DGPT has done a far better job this year than years prior. And there's been even like on Jomez and some of their other secondary stuff, they've had like the Ricky's little podcast.
The Ricky's roundtable that were all done prior that are coming out now. Those have been like 3 weeks in a row. They've started the All Birdies No Bogeys podcast with Brian, Nate. Those have been fire, I think.
They have. There've been some improvements, I will say. Like I think if they can keep stacking them, and I think there's room to be there. There's always like people room.
I like when they do these too because it creates an opportunity for the players that don't want to do social media, because there's plenty of pros that have no idea what they're doing, don't want to do it. And even when they put the effort in, that takes a lot of time and they do it, they don't get a lot of views. All you can think is, why the hell am I doing this? So if you give these more just opportunities for big channels to tell your story, even if it's in an episode, or if you're lucky enough to be Ricky and be the face of it, I think there's more opportunities should open up to do things like this, because in reality, it feels like these other groups are on tour, or if you're on tour, you need something to do, you can just have a pro sit down, you press play, you have maybe 3 cameras, 3 separate angles, you just get them to talk, you have content. It's such an untapped market still.
Yeah.
And you're helping pro create a personality.
True.
But you got to do it right, because when I'm going to briefly touch on this, Drew Gibson started a podcast, and it's been a couple of days since he's released it, and it's only got like 500 views. Like, that just goes to show Drew Gibson has a 30K channel, has known to be putting out videos, puts out a 2-hour podcast with the PDGA president, or no, what is he? Whatever Doug Beer says, whatever the title is, sitting down with him, asking pretty hard-hitting questions. I thought that it was decent for a first episode. There's still something to figure out, but still 500 views. That just goes to show how there needs to be help and how there's a market for bonus content. So yes, I'm glad in this whole little ramble that the DGPT is starting to delve into doing more of that. It's going to help the brand.
And ever so often, shorting it up. Like, I think that goes a long way. Yeah, they do.
I don't know what they're so against with doing different titles and thumbnails, though. I don't know. I just think that they can shorten those up, make them a little crisper.
That may be true. I think they're
not talking shit. Just saying.
They're probably I know they're watching, and they're probably like literally laughing out loud. Like that, the fact that you said that. I kind of want. I chuckled in my head. I was like, they can't complain about our titles and do them right. Like, you know what I mean?
No,
well done.
All right. Anything else on delaying the post coverage? Also, I think on the same topic of delaying the post coverage, I still feel like it's a weird move. I don't know if these are getting on Jomas or MDG, but to split these still. I don't understand that.
Do you think they should have done a free day and put it behind it? Yeah.
That's another thing. Good for bringing that up. Why is there not a free on the first day? What's up with that? And I know that there's talks that this is similar to US DGC and that the European people own it. But also, why is that? Like, how are you going to negotiate with a country? Break your protocol. I know it's PDGA and DGPT, but like, come on, they're pretty intertwined where they're making ideas or doing it together, right? So they have these negotiations with Estonia to be like, hey, we're going to give you an event and Worlds, whatever. And you can't be like, hey, in this.
Well, we've heard him turn down UC on one of his bids because he said he wanted like control of all the filming.
Yeah, they should definitely tell people. They should have that. Like, and if they don't, they should have had a negotiation with Estonia where they're putting the money front to get it accessible to at least some people. Estonia was told to put like $700,000 into this event. You can't tell me they can't.
It's just this year.
That's what I thought. I thought that's what.
Or that like over their plan for whatever their.
I remember when the event last year, the number that was being thrown around from people that I trust was $800,000 for last year's event. So I would not be surprised if that was just for this year. And if you're putting up something like that, again, for a long-term deal, how are you not doing something to get it in more homes?
Hey, I also want to touch another thing. Can we get off the fucking festival?
I call it a festival?
Yeah. No. I'm fine with it being festival. Everyone else seems to have the fucking problem with it being called a festival.
Really? Why?
Man,
you need more things. Like you need like a bouncy house or something.
Like they had a fucking petting zoo, bro.
Oh, you're right. My bad.
That and like also they have a music festival, and then like I think they're doing like festivals for the entire month. So it makes sense that this is called a festival because it's being held on the same grounds where all the other festivals are being held. So hence the title.
Came to this conclusion when I was watching the highlights of the round, doing the little editing, and I realized why people were saying it was boring, because it did on the par 4 seem like the top pros, at least, because that's the people we get to see. We don't get to see the casual 30 to 60 range or whatever you want to say, that cash line or whatever. We see the top people, which is like AB, Calvin, Ginn, guys that are going to be throwing 500 plus. Yeah. So when they're playing 700, 600 foot par 4s, it becomes, I'm going to throw this drive really, really hard. probably miss whatever the initial gap is. That was like the main issue. Was like once you're out of the initial gap, you just fly down the fairway. Now it's a stock forehand, stock backhand hyzer. Either one, you pick.
Yeah. Do you think like the cameraman pivoting, is that like a positive or a negative?
It means you throw really far, right?
And yeah, but like some people could be like, oh, that means it's too easy. You get what I'm saying? As opposed to
my thought was too with the why I'm saying par 4s and 5s are bad, because it comes when it's stock like that, when it is more open. In the woods, there's a challenge, there's landing zones. That's the important part.
Keep your fucking hands off a wooded par 4s,
when you're
bro.
creating,
Like, I'm not on board with that.
An actual shot to shot on, instead of just, blast one out there and you get some sort of approach. That just is, it's sort of, I don't want to say lazy, but it just becomes not as fun when people have bigger arms, and you don't want to just keep pushing things back, because then you're still creating a larger separation for the people that can't throw as far.
Yes.
So when you go to those par 3s that look super pretty, I would also like to say the opening gaps, the missing the initial thing, and you fly down the fairway, you at least see the entire shot. There's an intentional whatever with it. Like, the shot. It's straight up the gut. It's hyzer around this tree. There's a line to it. You have to hit it other than just throw it fast and you have some sort of look. I know that's when it comes a little bit more easy, but I think that we can do a better job of using obstacles in the future, of creating things like trees or putting a basket closer to, obstacles and stuff like that. But I think if we focus more on being okay with, hey, do we need par 4s and 5s every other hole smashing the drive? And I don't think pros would be too mad about that. I think we hear a lot of complaints of my arm hurts. I'm having to chuck all the time. I'm not saying every single course also, by the way. I think it would be cool to have a par 3 where damn near every hole is par 3. Make it, not saying don't make it challenging, like definitely make it hard, make it that technical.
I think you'd have a little more parity. Like, that's for sure. A little bit. Like, not drastically, but a little bit of parity. I see the play. It's interesting.
Also, stay away from the drone shots then, because I don't know about anyone else. I don't know if that's like a popular opinion or whatever. I'm not a fan of the drone, because it just feels like you're so far away from the little disc flying. Like, sometimes especially when they
especially when they do it when they're actually throwing. It's like, dude, like, no,
you don't know what's going on. I'm trying to I almost think of it as like a POV, man. Like, I'm trying to imagine I'm doing, like, they're watching that.
Did you see the Tampere preview with the stadium seating?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, right? Like,
looks incredible.
Yeah. There's your proof right there in what you're trying to say. Like, guys, this is it. Like, especially. And like, man, that looked like, dude, that looked so much. Like, my first thought was like, that looks like Yankee Stadium. This is nuts. Like, you know what I mean? That was like, my initial thought was like, wow. And it's got that, we've always said, man, if they could put a camera up there too.
There'll be a camera somewhere around there.
Because we've always said, like, the overhead back straight shot, hands down the greatest. Like, if you can get a little bit taller.
Because it's even with views. I don't know if it's just a coincidence with the content that we've been always doing, but when we used to just film on the course, post shots.
Yeah.
For some reason, when you're behind the back, you're viewing it, you just don't even switch it. You just do one solo, you zoom in. It bangs. Like, view-wise, I don't understand.
Those gorilla days, like, man, that LVC tournament when we just didn't care. Like, that was like...
We're a camera guy. We got a camera.
Man, like those... Or the first Worlds where I was, like, next to Jomez cameraman, and I'm like, you need me to move?
2022? Or no, 2019,
like, And I'm like, you need me to move? And he's like, nah, you're chill. I'm like,
that was before there was rules or anything. Yeah, that was the first event they, like, paid people to go.
Yeah.
So there was literally, like, the ropes were questionable. You can go wherever you want. Especially we show up day one because it's Worlds, so there's 5 days. So it's early as hell and no one's there.
I'm gonna paint this picture a little bit better than you because I was a little newer to disc golf. Like, the nephew, I played before and I kind of got away from the game, and then the nephew brought me back. And so for a graduation gift, I said, all right, we're gonna take you to Worlds. It's in Illinois. Let's go. We show up the first day and there's no one there. There's like 10 people there. And I, like, my initial reaction was like, holy shit, there's 4 more days of this. And then, like, it totally redeemed itself when, what was it, KJ? Was it KJ or who hit the...
KJ threw it in.
Yeah, KJ threw it in and we saw it. And, like, then all of a sudden, and we didn't have our camera on. And I was like, that's not going to fucking happen again. And, like, then, like, we got amped. And, like, by the end, it was, like, I think, like, the last day, it was, like, the most populated.
Oh, it was packed. It was huge. Yeah, it was huge.
Like at that time. So, but yeah, that was funny. That first day was doubts. I was like, bro, we're in the middle of nowhere. There's like this just a
We
gas
have
station to
Peoria.
eat. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I was like, oh man, 5 days. Like, but whatever, it was great.
Speaking of Peoria, this actually brings up an idea I want to talk to you about because Simon Lizotte on that Crush Pepper podcast we talked about earlier, they were talking about how the idea behind the festival is we're near a big city. We have this infrastructure. We have all these people. The idea is to get there to be spectators. And Simon Lizotte actually seemed to be a big proponent of this, saying he doesn't understand why they go to play Peoria, which is Ledgestone for all those people. Very popular tournament out there. When you're from Peoria is about like 2 hours, hour and a half away from Chicago.
Yeah.
Why not go play somewhere like, I don't know, Delwood, which is in the top 50 in the UDisc, whatever courses. Why do we not utilize the amount of people? They have great infrastructure. They've actually run a Silver Series. They run great events all the time. Why do they not try to make a relationship over there? And I think that's honestly a good point.
Yeah, anywhere where you can get closer to the city. If you could get in the city, do it. Like that, like anything. Dude, could you like, not to get back onto the other event, but like, could you just imagine if that was in Grant Park? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and there was an event. I don't care if it had gimmicky fucking mozzarella sticks. It would still be incredible. Like, just to be able to say, like, man, that's cool. They held that there.
Okay, this is an idea that I've been having. Anyone rich out there that wants to do something cool in disc golf, hit us up because this might be a dope thing. I've always thought that disc golf is so cool because you can take baskets virtually anywhere. You can set up a temporary course wherever you decide. You just have to put the effort in doing it. It can be cool as well. You just need the passionate people putting the work in.
I'm vibing. I'm going.
Why not go to awesome places all over the world, similar to how Estonia is putting in their thing on presidential grounds? Why not go to Egypt on the pyramids? Why not go to places like the Grand Canyon? I'm trying to come up with like the
Wall
things
of
in my mind.
China,
Stuff like that. Just insane things, and you're just maybe not setting up 18 holes, but you're setting. Like, and I talk about urban disc golf, how they're cool. They do like 3 holes or whatever. They set it up, and you can have this montage of them traveling the world, playing these exotic partial disc golf things.
I know there's so many people listening to this, be like, that sounds fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, obviously.
And then my point is, you would all fucking watch Simon float something off the Great Wall of China into a 150-foot chain.
Damn
you
right.
all would geek out at that.
And if people didn't know disc golf, they would be like, what is that?
Yeah,
that looks
dude,
cool.
I would do it even if it was 9 holes. That sounds great. Like, and
Perfect.
to be able to just get
And if you're doing like pop-up things like that, fucking buy some tickets, guys. Come on, come play the course. Come here. You know, all that stuff. Hey, if someone wants to do, we're trying to bring back the disc golf world tour.
Yeah.
Let's do it. UC, you listening? This is a good idea.
Yeah.
Flag off. You listen to this?
Yeah, nice. We're gonna, we'll travel with like a band of bandits, like a fucking circus, and just bring baskets everywhere. Dope.
Dude, this could be something.
Yeah,
we might be starting something.
I'm on board with that.
Where would you go first? What would be like the dream location?
If you could somehow have like the Taj Mahal in the background, like of a course or a basket, like that would just be like,
that would
whoa,
be pretty
bro.
sick. Yeah,
That would be
that
just
would be
pretty
sick.
wild. Yeah. That one would be like unique enough where it's like, I wouldn't have thought disc golf would have gotten there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like Paris, Eiffel Tower, shit like that. You're like, all right, cool. Yeah, right. Like, exactly. Taj Mahal.
It's
Fucking
different.
like, whoa,
That's
bro.
next level.
Yeah, like what happened here? Like that one. So that would probably be my pick to click.
I feel like it's possible too. My only question is like, how if they're throwing like, could they break serious things with these discs? Like you're throwing AB and you're telling the dude to go crush something, and can he accidentally break something?
I
And
suppose.
Can we fix it within reason? You know,
Dude,
somebody
like,
breaks the car window, we got that. But if it's like something where it's like irreplaceable,
Yeah, I also don't know. Like, man, on Instagram, I think it was Luke. We know the tour, the classic like frisbee sesh where they had the glow in dark frisbee and they're just in a park in Estonia. Like, can't help but like just watch. You know, now you add a basket or like, you know what I mean? Like little stuff like that, I think would be, dude. Even if it was just frisbees instead of like disc, I think I'd get down and kind of watch some of these guys throw that stuff. I know it'd be more difficult, like to stick, but I'm just like short.
it's different. It's cool.
Why not?
It showcases the sport, and I feel like it's more entertaining to grab someone who has no idea what it is. At least it catches the eye more so
Yeah.
than just
dude, and it's kind of
Anything else we
limitless. Like, yeah. Oh man, what about like Brazil and like the favelas? Like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
nice. That'd be
With
sick.
the Easter Island heads, dude.
Ooh.
Come on, man.
Dude,
You can
that
imagine
would-
playing that.
That'd be pretty dope.
An Ace clip that's on Sports
Yeah,
Center all day. Did
yeah.
Isaac's Ace not get on Sports Center?
I think it did.
Did it?
think
Okay,
it
I
did.
never saw a clip of it. So I don't know.
Maybe we should, man, even better idea. Fuck it. We take your idea and we
Yeah.
just visit all the old Olympic stadiums that are like decrepit
Oh,
and like
okay.
run down. Like we just play in those.
There you go.
Then it's like urban.
We can have it like be a campaign like get disc golf in the Olympics. So we have all these people supporting us, you know?
Yeah, nice.
I mean, really, we don't care if it's in the Olympics.
What about like Chernobyl?
Yeah, there you go. We're getting out there now.
Yeah, now you got the stuff's cooking, bro. Like, be dope. All right, I think it was
I was
time.
gonna wrap up this podcast.
I brought Chernobyl. I got
Yeah,
weird.
we're gonna wrap
Cool.
up this episode. This has been out. Guys, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. If you've gotten this far in a podcast episode, and you're not subscribed, I really have no idea what you're doing at this point. Shout out to everyone over on the Patreon. If you want an exclusive interview we did with Jay Millie, head over there because I don't know when the video is gonna be out, and you're gonna hear a lot more info on how you can become a disc golf content creator. Thank you guys so much. See you next one.